Good morning, sixth grade, and welcome to a new quarter. It feels so good to be here. We are laying aside the assignments that we may have missed or wish we did better on and starting fresh. So, as Ms. Hutch usually says, everybody has an A as of this morning. So, we'll get our grades posted tonight for last quarter, but I want you to focus today on what we have coming next this quarter. So first of all, not to make things too confusing, but each of you has been assigned to a new Google Classroom. It's the new one, but it's the same. So you will no longer be using last quarter's classroom for sixth grade. Instead, we have new classes, and I'm just going to show you. You'll see the invitation to join on your main screen when you go to Google Classroom, and you just click join, and it's right there. As before, most of the time, you're going to be clicking on the classwork tab to see what we have. So today we have the vocabulary journal, which I'll talk about in just a minute. But I also wanted to point out, if you scroll down, you'll see another category called sub-lessons. Do not touch these. Do not worry about them. That's in case I can't be here to teach. Somebody else can use these lessons with you, sub, and they're all available and ready to go. But you do not have to do them and don't have to worry about them, don't have to think about them, and before you know it, we'll be on to week 2 and week 3, and they'll be all the way at the bottom, and you won't even think about them anymore. So that's what we've got for our new Google Classroom. Let me know if you have any problems, and I'll be happy to get you going. Let's look at our class today, and we'll do this assignment for Monday and Tuesday. First of all, if you haven't caught up, I need you to read Chapter 3 of Percy Jackson. And as you do that, today it's a fairly simple assignment. I want us to spend time thinking about the vocabulary that we may be unfamiliar with. And we've talked about understanding vocabulary in context. Now I want you to prove it. So I've given you, I'm going to make my screen big here, get rid of myself. Let me get rid of myself. There we go. So we've done activities where we have to understand what the vocabulary and context is based on the way the word looks with Greek and Latin roots. And we've done ask questions about how the context tells us what the vocabulary is. Now I want you to prove that you can figure out, like a master sleuth, what the vocabulary is. So here's what we're going to do. This is the first example here, okay? Really simple. You do not have to do this one. This is just to get us started. But this is the format I want you to use in our template. So you will look here, and there will be a word in the middle, dog. And I want you to find a picture, an example, an illustration in the bottom right-hand corner. Stick that in there. You could just copy and paste it from Google Images or whatever you want. So we know that we're talking about the same thing. Then you go to the definition and type in a definition. Again, I don't want you just copying and pasting from Google. I want you looking it up and putting it in your own words, as we've done in the past. Again, I can usually tell if you're just copying and pasting. And copying and pasting is fine, but I want you to pick one specific definition as the context illustrates. So we'll talk about this as we read through Percy Jackson. Any ideas, any interesting information you have, the etymology of the word, that's where the word came from, that can be inserted in this section. And in this section, I want you to use it in a sentence. So, Mr. Latin, what do I have to do to get a passing grade in this particular assignment? What you have to do is this quadrant and this quadrant. Give me the definition and use it in a sentence. This stuff over here is great. If you do this perfectly and you add stuff here, that'll give you a little bit of extra credit. But what you have to do is this part. So let's look at the first example. The first example is squall. Squall. They talked about a squall breaking out in Chapter 2. And I want you to give me a definition of that word. And the next one is lumber. This is the verb form of lumber, again, as in the novel that we read. And then the last one for today is goad. So your assignment for Monday and Tuesday is to read Chapter 3, if you haven't already, and do this project. Thanks for watching. We will be back.